Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Timbuktu Campaign. Last time we began our adventures here in sub-Saharan Africa, playing as the aristocratic republic of Timbuktu. We expanded from our meager starting homeland besides the Sahara Desert to conquer much, though not quite all, of the Timbuktu province, with the settlement of Ber remaining in the control of our neighbor Kabata, at least for now. We also expanded to the nearby Kura province, which is split between our new lands and these uncolonized lands down here in the plains. And lastly, we expanded to the Jene province, which is of course part of the Jene region, to which we have dispatched a character, that being Salimata Boinou, to act as governor. She, with her 8 finesse, is keeping this apostate area under control, as it is 100% Sigawick. They have not yet heard the news about the proper Bedaic way, but they're hearing about it now. We've got religious conversion going on, and given the fact that they are 100% Bozo, at least these particular areas are, things are not so bad, despite not running either local autonomy or harsh treatment. It's only at minus 0.21 per month, which I consider fairly sustainable even for a longer time, though we definitely want to make sure that this place gets converted in the long run, to make sure that these pops are as happy and productive as possible. They are going to be contributing a decent amount of output because they are our native culture, and they're going to be joining our Levy because they're the native cultures. That is quite nice. I'd much rather have wrong religion pops than same religion but wrong culture pops. Now, at this point, we have a new administration to take a look at here. With the election that just happened at the end of the last episode, things are a bit different, and we need to do some changes in our state to keep things under control. We're now under the reign of Ara and Reja, another duo of relatives that are from different factions. In this case, Ara Boinou is an oligarch with 4052, and he is ruling alongside his relative Reja Boinou, who is a traditionalist with 0129. Pretty bad stats, all things considered, though as I noted last time, Ara does have some okay traits. As a lapsed character, he is going to be reducing our Omen power by 10%, and otherwise there's really no notable effects from this, as he is not going to change his conviction during his reign, very likely. Once a fervent believer, Ara abandoned his faith long ago. He is also harsh. While many would employ a mild punishment to fit a mild crime, Ara considers mild punishment a crime in itself. Characters with this trait are more likely to murder their way to the top. This will be reducing his monthly popularity by 0.05 per month, but increasing his statesmanship by 0.05% per month. Also making his slave rate under construction slightly better, not going to be relevant during his reign, and giving him more oligarchy conviction, and reducing his bony conviction for what that's worth. As the governor of Ghana, he's going to be increasing its local slave output by 6%, and as the ruler, he's increasing the nationwide slave output by 3%. So some very mild economic bonuses from that, though the popularity loss is a little painful to be sure. And finally, he is merciful for 1 extra charisma, not that it helps him too much, slightly reduced enslavement efficiency minus 5%, and slightly increased monthly traditionalist conviction, though he is in the oligarch faction, and because he's the ruler, he can't change his conviction, as I mentioned earlier, so this won't matter during his tenure. Of course, we'll see post-archonship if he changes his ways. It's possible. As the governor of Ghana, we're going to see 8% increased freeman happiness here in our home region, as well as minus 0.05 monthly tyranny while he is the ruler. Actually quite nice. I'm glad to see that kind of effect, as I've built up a nice bit of tyranny from my evil behavior in the first episode. Who am I kidding? I'm going to be doing evil behavior in every episode, so get used to it. Now, aside from his traits, the stats are not so good, but he is helped out very slightly by his co-Arakan Reja, who is a 0129, with incidentally the traits of tough. The sailors commanded by Reja are said to be the happiest in the world, said to be blessed by the divine. Fleets commanded by Reja seem to have an unnatural ability to survive. I guess he's sailing around on the river, even though it's not a navigable river, but I guess he's found a way. This increases his health very slightly, 0.01%, and ship damage taken while he's the commander is 5% reduced. And he is blunt. Sometimes facts are just facts. Reduces his charisma by 1, Senate influence by 5%, and if he were the ruler, improved opinion maximum would be reduced by 25%. Fortunately, he's not. And although he does bring in some good zeal, his stats are otherwise terrible. He's at least fortunately lending his good zeal to the national modifiers. With the 4 martial, it says from Mareja, but this is just a glitch. It's actually coming from Ar. With the 4 martial from Ar, our country receives 4% plus 4% manpower recovery speed and plus 4% army morale recovery. With the 1 finesse, and this is actually the boosted finesse from the co-Archon, so that's showing just how dire of a state the finesse situation is for this election cycle. 1 finesse from Reja, minus 1% build cost, and plus 2% national commerce income. The 5 charisma, which I believe is coming from Ar, is going to be giving us plus 1 claim fabrication speed and minus 0.05 monthly tyranny, which is quite nice. This is working alongside his merciful trait to give us some nice tyranny reduction for this particular Archon cycle. Lastly, the 9 zeal, which you know is coming from Reja, is going to be giving us that minus 0.09 monthly war exhaustion. We're not too high up on war exhaustion, and we aren't likely to gain a lot more super soon, so this will allow us to get back to 0 war exhaustion nice and quick, though at the moment our current war exhaustion is not doing that much to cause us problems. Either way, this is also much more importantly going to be giving us plus 0.09 monthly stab change. This really good monthly stab change is probably the best thing about this duo. They're otherwise pretty bad, but they're actually still a bit more promising looking than the anticipated next duo, which is expected to be Arabi Isawagen with 1403. Yikes. And this is a minor character, joined with his expected co-Archon, Wati Chilabele, our current censor. This guy's a fair bit better, though, not exactly in the martial category, the 1 martial, but 9 finesse and 10 oratory with 5 zeal. Now, if the main incoming Archon had better martial and better zeal, this would actually be a pretty good pairing, but at the moment, I'm thinking I may want to interfere in this election a little bit to prevent this particular duo from ascending. This would also be a double traditionalist Archonship, which could present problems, given how powerful the oligarchs have become, in part thanks to my direct influence. I actually want to try and rebalance the factions a little bit in this 5-year cycle. Not that I want the oligarchs to lose all their power, but more so I want to just prevent the oligarchs from having 100% control of my government. Although I do like their national modifier quite a bit. Build cost minus 15%, of course, is great, and plus 8% noble happiness. At the moment, I don't exactly have the number of nobles to get full advantage from this. There's definitely an argument that the 10% omen power from the traditionalists would be a little better early game, thanks to this translating to extra commerce income, thanks to my worship of the Jackal, at least for right now. Of course, the great thing about omen power is it's a bonus that you choose to apply wherever you want by selecting the omen that the omen power then boosts up. So I could also get more morale from that and some other sources as well. Although, of course, my omen power has been reduced. Well, my unity's been reduced, but my omen power has also been reduced from the lower unity and from my current Archon, who it appears, because he's lapsed, is reducing omen power by 10%. I think I noted that earlier. Right, so in terms of how I'm going to manage the government, I want to make some changes. Now that I'm at 100 approval from the oligarchs, this approval is now completely safe to lower, and even lower fairly substantially. And what I'm thinking of doing is basically trying to rehabilitate the traditionalists and Democrats to regrow their approval, and if possible, their control. Now, at the moment, the strength of the oligarch faction is in part because Salma Chilabele, who is the party leader still, and was the previous Archon, of course, is an oligarch, and our current Archon is, of course, an oligarch as well, and he can't change because he's the ruler. Then we also have a super powerful researcher, Kenga Sankara, who is in the Archon faction as well. Here she is. She's a family head, interestingly enough. Yeah, so her power base is mostly coming from her family head status. Let's see. Is she open to changing her ways at all? Okay, so she's on board with the oligarch ways. Let's see. Because of her martial, major character. Okay. She opened any other route? Not feasibly. I think she's likely going to stay as an oligarch, which means her power base... I could weaken the oligarchs by removing her as a researcher, although she's a family head, so I don't really want to upset her too much here. I could also try to get rid of her, but that would be a fair bit more involved. I could rival her as Ar and then try to assassinate her, which would prevent me from doing Scheme Influence, so I'd lose out on PI, and I'd be spending a lot of resources to kill this character. But who would succeed her as the family head of the Sankara family is the question. Let's take a quick look. If it's based on age, I guess she's the eldest character. Yeah, it looks to be based on age. Which means that likely Mecha Sankara, who I believe is actually, yeah, this is the wife of Salma, the previous leader. She's the next in line, and she's actually also an oligarch, though not quite as firmly. She's a bit more on board with the traditionalist way of doing things. I could potentially assassinate her older relative and essentially guide Mecha into becoming the new family head of the Sankaras, and then do some other things to try to push her towards being a traditionalist. Let's see. Can I do anything to reduce her oligarch conviction? Friend with Archon. Okay, so she's friends with me currently. I see. Can I remove friend? 30 PI. I could remove friend with her for 30 PI. So essentially, to quickly jump ahead to the final question here of, is it possible to actually orchestrate some sort of plot to weaken the oligarchs for the purpose of rebalancing the factions? The answer is yes, but is it worth doing? Possibly. And I think in terms of this idea of meddling in the internal Sankara family affairs by killing Kenga and allowing Mecha to take over, someone who is admittedly quite a bit worse. Oh, hold on. She has some corruption from being corrupt. I see. She also has Mantagra, but it's not a very serious illness, so I don't know if that's going to cause any problems. Given that I only have 5-year cycles, she also won't be the friend of the Archon in 5 years, because she's friends with the current Archon, but not whoever the incoming Archon is. So this kind of plot to see some sort of Sankara family head usurpation that I sort of facilitate behind the scenes may be a little too expensive for just this 5-year duration, as ultimately these characters will age and change over time. So this level of min-max family manipulation may not really make sense to do just because right now, within 5 years, this 0.10 from Friend with Otacon will go away. So this will actually, I think, shift her back to being a traditionalist, if I am looking at this right. Friend with Otacon is plus 0.10. Now, these are growing over time, so she will eventually become a traditionalist, I believe. Let's see. The Zeal is plus 10, so it's plus 0.15 each month. And this without Friend with Otacon. Let's see. No, this isn't counting right. Monthly change. Yeah, plus 0.09, plus 0.10, that's plus 19. Plus 0.01 is plus 20. Plus 0.03 is plus 23. Well, you know what? Friend with Otacon's not applying yet, so it's actually even worse. She's going to be plus 33 towards being an oligarch for this duration. It just hasn't started applying yet in the way that the tooltip displays it. So it's actually even worse than this, where Mecha is not going to become a traditionalist anytime soon, and she actually is still more leaning towards oligarch. So I don't think any sort of shenanigans with messing around with the Sankara family is going to be worth it, even though it's interesting to consider that kind of action would be on the table. So the best I can do really is I could still remove Kenga as a researcher. This would upset her, but she might still be loyal at the end of the day. And big picture, one of my goals here with the way I'm going to shake up my government is I want to potentially get some scorned families going. This will upset the oligarchs, but it'll make the Democrats happy. I want to increase the approval of the traditionalists and the Democrats, and as well as increasing their support. I don't necessarily want to switch everything around and purposely try to tank the oligarchs, but the oligarchs with 100 approval, I don't get any advantage from still doing things that the oligarchs like, but I do get an advantage from doing things that they dislike while the others like it, as they have tons of room to grow in terms of approval. I could also continue in my efforts to strengthen their control through some of these characters. The issue is family head is such an enormous modifier on power base that all of these non-family head officers just aren't really competing with a character who's a family head. So unfortunately I have to work around the vanilla game's balancing here. Either way, I think that's enough yapping. Let's get to scheming. Now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to review all of our officers and figure out who do we keep where. Do we keep some of them in the government, but we sort of shift their positions around, and who do we fire? With the goal here of scorning all the families so that I lose this unnecessary oligarch approval, and more importantly, gain Democrat approval. Now again, the Democrats have much less weight to their approval than the oligarchs, but at the end of the day, I don't really mind losing oligarch approval if it means strengthening Democrat approval, as I want to start to depower the oligarchs a little bit, just to keep my republic from being under their control too permanently, as I wouldn't mind shifting over to the traditionalists as a new faction to rule, thanks to their better faction in charge national modifier, though it's going to take a while to get there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. Now, in terms of, our augur was one of our, I think it was either Ad or it was Zareja. I think it was Zareja was the augur before. Either way, whoever it was, this position is now open. And more generally speaking, by the way, in terms of the families, in order to get one of two in all these families, we'll have to find a lot of minor characters to take up these spots. All the characters that we currently have should basically be at about the same amount of statesmanship. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking mid 60% for a lot of them. Okay, so I guess the first question would be, what do I do about Kenga Sankara? If I'm not going to kill her, do I want to try to reduce her power base a little bit? And I could do so by removing her as a researcher. I think that's probably not a bad idea. Now, with her high power base, keeping her as a researcher would also keep her loyalty in effect. Let's see, it's 15 for granted office. She'd also lose loyalty if I removed her office, so we could start playing with fire a little bit here. But with her power base, it's hard to say. It's really tricky to predict this stuff, unfortunately. I really wish that Family Head was a more moderate power base ranking, but as you can see, just it's absurd how overpowered being a Family Head truly is. We're talking about 10 times the value of being in an office position, which family heads and being of the nobility was really important in the classical age, right? In like the Roman times when the game was, all of its mechanics were set around that. But I just think that this is a little over the top. So, let's see. I think what I'm going to do is roll the dice. I'm going to replace her as the researcher. And also, I don't think the traits seem to work. Let me go back to where I have someone with a trait. These traits don't seem to be generating innovations. Maybe I give it another 5 years to see if anything happens, but I've not seen anything yet. I'm suspicious that they just don't work in this mod. A lot of overhaul mods break these trait events, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one does as well, to be completely honest, at least from my experience so far. With that in mind, I can now safely assign characters with better research speed to also help min-max my research. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and fire her. Incidentally, she does have 30% statesmanship. Okay. Let's go ahead and replace her with a high-quality minor character like Colon. Or I guess the other thing to consider is, do I actually switch over someone from my current officers who is really competent but may have loyalty problems? Because then they'd be really good as a researcher, where their loyalty won't matter. Let's see. All these characters have fairly solid loyalty. Uncaring, low faction approval. Okay. The other reason, by the way, to try to go for a more balanced faction arrangement where all three factions are fairly evenly strong and approving is that this will make character management way easier, as low faction approval will be a recurring problem for character loyalty, and this will prevent me from min-maxing my PI if I just go with the oligarch or oligarch and traditionalist, duopoly arrangement idea. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and replace Kenga with Colon Zaparima, bringing in 60, so that's fine. This is a Democrat, which I think is probably fine. I need to strengthen both the Democrats and the traditionalists. Here he comes. Okay. She is now disloyal, but that's okay. We're looking at, it says 0% power base. I don't think that's correct. But it is not a problem at the moment, so we're just going to leave it as is. Once her faction gets happier, oh, she's the rival of the world. Or hold on, this isn't the character I just this is a different. This is the previous co-Otacon. This is the Democrat Party leader. That's right, Jaruru. He's a rival of Arabuno, of me. Okay. You know what? Since he's already a rival, I could try to assassinate him. Is there a reason I'd want to do that? He's not really he's the Democrat leader because the game hard-coded him to be when it began, but as we've talked about previously, he's not actually like someone who would be a Democrat, but if not for that, like he's much more of a traditionalist character. But I don't think that by itself gives me any reason to assassinate him. Killing him would lead to the Democrat faction picking somebody else to rule them. And that could be good, although being a party leader, like an office position, is 1/10 the power of being a family head, so this wouldn't really matter too much for politics in this campaign. Trying to change the line of succession for families is much more important, I think, than these sort of political faction shenanigans. I think we leave it as is. This guy's going to be unhappy no matter what, because he's a rival of the ruler, so yeah, chided bickering. I think it'll be okay. Anyways, over here, let us assign, let's see. Now, the problem now is that all the good characters are family characters. I think this is more important than the officer positions. Let me bring in someone from, let's see. We're looking at civic advance. This is finesse. Anybody with good finesse? Okay, Patara Gombe. Let's see, uncaring. Oh yeah, this guy is going to be better served in a different position. Let me dismiss him and assign him over here. Okay, he's a little low on the loyalty side, so I want to make sure that I use him over here, where his qualities will be less impactful, or I should say his disloyalty will be less impactful, but his qualities will be impactful. Sigiri Suwari, with his 11 charisma, should probably stay right here. 55 loyalty, I'm not moving him out of this position. He can perhaps be the one Suwari. And the other thing, too, is I don't need all the families to be scorned. Going for all families being scorned may be a little overkill in terms of the reaction of the parties. Let's see. At this point, we've got, I think, one scorned family. Let's see. Yeah, the Sankara family has become scorned now. Let's see. This guy is a Democrat, though he's fairly middling. He's open to the other parties as well. I want to keep him as a Democrat, I think. Which means giving him more power, or, I mean, he already had power base, so leaving him as is going to be fine. Okay, getting back over to this. Democrats are now not bleeding as harshly, and the oligarchs aren't increasing as quickly, but this can go further for sure. Oh, they don't like that. The traditionalists don't like that the Archon is impious, but they like that we're at peace. They like that one of their members is the co-Archon. Yeah, I think the traditionalist approval is pretty set in stone in a positive way. I'm not going to really try to mess with this too much right now. Okay. So Sigiri is going to stay right here. Next we have Red Ryogo Sankara. Let's see, this is in the Sankara family. This currently is one of two. Okay. This guy is not very good. I think I had him here for trait reasons, but now I know that that's not relevant. Let's replace him perhaps with Gane. We don't have a lot of good characters here for Zeal. Perhaps an officer. Had an 8 here as well. Trying to actually have one of two for all the families is actually more complicated than trying to have 2 of 2, or 3 of 2, or 4 of 2. Okay, let's go for Gane. This is a boost of a couple points, and this is a... Well, I could go for the party leader. This would give him more power base, and also secure his loyalty. I think this is not the worst idea. As a party leader, he's not going to have like tons of power base, but his loyalty is low, mostly because of other things unrelated to his status, like being a rival of the ruler. He should have... He has some statesmanship built up from when he was the co-Archon. I could also go for the Kobga Monwo appointment. He's a bit better with Zeal. It's only a 1-point difference. And either one would be better than this current guy. But then I'd have to get rid of 2 more characters is the problem. I think all things considered, let's go ahead and... yeah, let's put Joruru, and then, yeah, because I think at the moment, having slightly worse officers is okay, as long as I am attending to the big picture of trying to rebalance the parties. So 60% is fine. All right, over in the officer, actually one more thing to consider is, do I replace the governor? She is of the Boinois family. She is super duper traditionalist, which I'm actually okay with. She has a fair bit of power base as the governor. Governors in Imperator Rome's vanilla balancing are really your main way to counteract the power of family heads, because you can just put anyone as a governor. So she is going to be providing a lot of the power for the traditionalist faction. Let's take a look again at this. It doesn't say that she's providing power, but she's a traditionalist. Why is that? Maybe on the tick it'll count? I'm not 100% sure. I didn't just assign her on the tick, so I'm not really sure. Either way, I think I'm happy to leave her where she is. It's not like I have a lot of great finesse characters just hanging around. I could technically replace her with this guy who's a little better, but I think I'm happy with leaving her as is. She's fairly loyal, and this guy's not loyal, so yeah, let's leave it at that. Okay, over here, I need the Chilabele family to lose some of these positions here. Okay, this character, these two are both really loyal, though, is the problem. Although, once they're fired, they're going to lose free hands, so their loyalty will go away anyways. Let's see. That being said, yeah. Okay. I know this is also a very slow opening, but I'm trying to do this very carefully, putting a lot of thought into how I arrange this. I'm going for a very weird strategy of trying to rebalance the parties, which is not easy to do without making some serious compromise. Okay, this position here feels fairly safe to give to kind of a less qualified character who's not a family... Actually, this is already not a family character. Let me move this guy to be my augur, actually. I think that's probably the way to do it. Incidentally, what are we looking at here for the timing? Yeah, January 1st of 160, so that's easy to remember. Okay. Let me replace you with Gane Isawagan. I think that's going to be fine. Let's give you free hands. Move this guy over here, and he should have free hands still. Okay, good. All right. Tribune of the People. I need you to be replaced with, let's see. I could put Sankara in here. I think I will, actually. Let's see. Weak-willed. Yeah, the Scorn family thing is going to be a bit painful on the loyalty, but I may run Scorn family, not for the full 5 years, because that may... I'll calculate, actually, once I get everyone set up, to see if it's going to cause a problem for too much approval loss, but I think this is nonetheless good. As for Physician... let me come back to this, actually. Need to fire some of the Sawadis. She's really, really loyal, though. I don't really want to lose her. And she's pretty good, too. I think I keep her as is. You, I will replace with... Let's see. I just don't have a lot of... Actually, Saye Korondugu is pretty good. Let me bring you in. Bring a Democrat in. Then up here, I'll replace you with... Here we go. Bogora Mogho? Oh, hold on, wait. Abrasive, shortcomings... Oh, yeah, not... Never mind, I'm bringing this guy in. Oh, he's a Sonanike, so he's upset. Never mind. I don't have a lot of good characters to work with here for charisma. I can't really justify making that trade. Okay. Let's do it like this. For Physician... I need... So I have too many characters to work with. Let me check this first. minus 0.01. Okay, so now because I'm trying to not let my approval total go to waste, because I already have 100 approval, and I can't go above 100. Now we're still not gaining with the Dems, though. I need to scorn one more family, at least. I think that's the way to do it, is I just want to have the trend now not increasing a maxed out approval for the oligarchs, and increasing the super low approval for the Dems. That's like my goal here. Okay, with this in mind, getting the Chilabele family scorned is going to be too complicated with 2 slots remaining, but the Suwari family is doable. Who's my other Suwari character? Here he is. Yeah, it's the researcher. That's right. With 11, his loyalty is going to be a problem, though. Yeah, and her loyalty is amazing, so I think we leave that. I guess he could be replaced. Yeah, 9 charisma is pretty good. Let me bring Bogota in over here. That character did not become disloyal amazingly, Sawadi, so that's pretty good. And now, 1 of 2. Alright, and now I can safely assign anyone who's not a Chilabele, because then they become grateful, and that would undo my work. So, let's bring in... I have to find someone here. Oh, that's a Chilabele. Oh my gosh, this is dire. Unless I do something creative by switching somebody around. Who's got... I mean, physician's not a very important position, but let's just see. Anybody who has decent stats in Zeal who I'd want to switch over. You'd actually be better at Zeal. Do I have a character I can use up here? 5 Zeal. That's not really justifiable. I could switch you over. You would keep your loyalty. 6 Zeal, though. Alright, Badakissa I could use. Anybody who has good oratory. Who's a minor character. Not really. What about my researchers? I could bring in Jaruru, I guess. Or I could replace Jaruru with a minor character and then free up 1 more slot for the Chilabeles. This is complicated. Okay. The things I do for maintaining a republic of balance. Like, it'd be so easy to go all oligarch, but I want to keep things balanced just to give myself more options later on. Maybe I even want a Democrat archonship, even though they're going to ask me to lower my term limits. It's something that is not out of the question. I just really don't want to change my term limits, so we'll see if I need to in the future. Okay, this is extremely complicated. You I could bring over. Then I just need someone with good civic stats who's not going to mess up any of my families here. It's real tough. I just don't have anyone available. Having the more families mod is now actually causing a problem because I just don't have... I have too many families I need to worry about here. I guess what I could do, I could actually remove a character from a family and then put them in the Zeal position. So now the question is, where is a character from a family who has 1 of 2, or are they like not optimized? So it would make sense to replace them. Let's see. Jaruru with the, oh, but then again, it's the Chilabele family who already have 3 of 2. I guess what I could do, this is getting more and more complex, I could fire him because he's not very good, and then I could, but then again, it's like if I could do that, I would just do that anyways and not have them be above 2. God, this is... I could still replace the governor of Jene, because she's in the Banu family. Is she currently the 1 Banu character? Yes, she is. That would give me a Banu slot that I could use. I only have 1 policy to change. It's not that expensive. Okay, if I were to do this, then the problem is who do I replace her with? Because all the good characters are all family characters now. Yeah, this isn't really the way to do it. I'd have to do like a series of swaps of character positions to free up characters with different attributes. So I could replace her with a different family character and then replace that family character slot with a minor character for the ultimate purpose of freeing up a good zeal character, or a good finesse character. That all being said, physician is honestly not a super critical position, and I think I'm probably going to just assign this to Arabi Isawagen, who we talked about at the start. This is our presumptive incoming Archon in 5 years, so he'll get some experience at least, if he somehow manages to become the Archon after my meddling that I plan to do to stop that. Okay, let's just assign that. Now let's take a look and see how things are looking in the government. Oligarchs are declining by 0.16, which with 100 current is completely sustainable. Democrats have plus 11, and also the oligarchs want me to do the appointment here. They want Condolon Tielabele to be appointed as a governor or a non-research officer. The issue is if I don't do this, they're going to force it through, and then I have to do it with whatever they select. I can at least control the damage this will do by doing it now. So, okay, let me actually check again. She's in the well, actually, she's the wife of the head of the Sawari family. She's a Tielabele, which means we need to do some more shifting, because the Tielabeles will become grateful if I do that. Unless I replace a Tielabele, which I think I might do. I could replace Barakissa with that character, if I can remember what her name is. I want to get this correct. Condolon Tielabele. Okay, she's in here somewhere. Here she is. 6 charisma is not great, but this will make the oligarchs happy. Doing this now actually has the added advantage. Well, I guess the thing is I could do this later in order to get more out of it, because this extra approval will go to waste because they're at 100. But what I'm scared of happening is that I don't do it now, and then the oligarchs demand I do this and ask her to be put into an office that she's not suited for, and then screwing everything up. Because I don't know if I can then move her to another office where she's better suited. Let me just do this now to clear the mission out of the way so I'm not worried about it. Ouch. Okay, let me go ahead and get free hands and see if anybody else is in need of hands that are free. There we go. I think everyone else here, you actually can get some free hands. Okay. 2.08 per month, and that is without scheme influence. Okay. 30 popularity to scheme influence? Okay, I didn't realize that. I will, how do I get some popularity real quick? Sponsor games? I don't have any money. Okay. I could siphon funds to then sponsor games to then do scheme influence. I could also try to assassinate one of my rivals. I don't think that either of these are a good idea, though. Alright, let me, actually, it says we're still on scheme influence. I think that might be a mistake. I'll see on the monthly tick if this sticks around or what happens, but yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. If it thinks I'm still on scheme influence, I'm happy just to leave it as is and let him be content in life. That's completely fine. Okay, having done all of these political shenanigans, the traditionalists are now super, super low approval. Were they at 0 before? They may have been. But they're raising fairly quickly, so that's not a problem. Oligarchs are at 100, but declining slowly, which I'm fine with. Democrats are at 21 and improving slowly. I wish they were improving faster, but I can't do too much. Best I can do is just reduce my tyranny, which I'm working on in the background. So all of that now means that I have slight Democrat upward trend and slight oligarch downward trend. I don't actually want to lose approval with the oligarchs for its own sake, but I want it as a way to gain approval, as in the things I'm doing to cause the loss or also causing the gain with the Democrats. And really what I want is just to get more control to these factions so I don't need to constantly dance around oligarch approval at all times, because they're eventually going to want things that I don't really want to give them, so having the other factions on hand to balance things out is good in the long run. If you think you can just coast along with the oligarchs under control, you will find that they will eventually start to do things you don't want them to, and then you're stuck with a powerful, unruly faction of man-babies, just like in real life. So with that said, let's go ahead and continue here with our setup. Can I reach anybody for trading purposes? That's just my own grain, so no. I really would like some diplomatic range bonuses. I think I can get some from my tech trees. Let's see. Range? Maybe from the military tech tree? Okay, naval range. That's not quite what I was looking for, but I guess that's good to know that that's there. Oh, here we go. Okay, control range. Diplomatic range. That's what I'm looking for under town criers. More range over here. Okay, yeah, there's some good range stuff. So yeah, so as usual, oratory advances comes through with the clutch. But we don't have a ton of research efficiency to get there soon. Oh well, we're working on it. Okay. With all that noted, I think we're good to proceed. Scorn families is on purpose. I guess the other thing to keep in mind is family prestige is growing slowly but steadily. And this will increase the power base of the family over time. I'll worry about that later. I can't do too much about it now. I spent the first 40 minutes of this episode just playing politics, just to barely get an efficient Democrat approval trend. Yeah, so you can see how complex this is going to be. Let's go ahead and continue once I first figure out, do I want to go to war anytime soon? In fact, can I even raise? I can't raise for a number of, or 20 days, so that's not too long. I don't think I really need the Gene Levy to join in. I mean, I guess she can join in. She's not going to overtake from Ar. And 4 marshal is not very good, but with the numbers, we should still be winning most conflicts, unless it's a similarly sized army. Then their better marshal, or possibly better marshal, but definitely better morale, will become a problem. Now, I would like to expand, as I talked about last time, to fight the Kabata defensive league. So it's going to be Kabata, Taraka, and Bori. And in terms of their numbers, we're looking at, let's see, these guys are Ingal Koyu, so we're looking at maybe 1, maybe 2, probably 1 levy from them, 1 levy from them, and maybe 2 levy from them. We should be fine, especially with the Gene Cav coming in to help. So a war against Kabata to claim Ber, as well as potentially to expand into Songhai. I don't really think that's necessarily a huge priority, but I could alternatively conquer most of the land and then make one of the surviving tribes. Are they tribes? I think they're tribes. Let's see. Settled tribe. Yeah, these are all tribes, I thought so. Make one of the tribes a vassal and then feed the land to them and then grow a vassal in Songhai. Songhai is... Actually, Songhai is in my culture group area, so I don't necessarily want to avoid it. It's also in the Badaic area. So actually, I should expand this way, to be completely honest. Once I finish getting the Bozo... I mean, there's a little bit more Bozo presence down here, but we've already conquered most of what we want. There's like a tiny amount of Bozo presence further away from us, but we've gotten the majority of it at this stage. Aside from, well, I say that, but there's also Segu and Shoma to get as well. I was misreading my UI. I thought these were parts of my lands. They're just part of the province. So yeah, there was a bit more expansion southward to do, but I don't necessarily want to go into Gene too deep. Mostly I just want to get the Gene province to get these Bozo territories, and then maybe shift my attention towards Songhai. Okay, it's going to make managing my my officer characters even harder, because then I'll have another governor seat to deal with, but that's the fun of playing as a republic. So with that all noted, do I have a claim on Segu? It looks like I do. No, they have a claim on me. Okay. And I don't have a claim on them because they're in the Gene region, so I didn't get any claims on them for my mission. Although, getting Ber would actually allow me to grab Making Gains, which is 15 pops in Timbuktu assimilated immediately. This then immediately unlocks Consolidate Timbuktu for 10 years of population output plus 10% in Timbuktu. This then lets me grab Triumph in Ghana at will for 10 years of nationwide population output plus 10%, and local citizen happiness plus 12%, plus 1 marshal for whoever the current Archon is at that time. And I could also then finish the mission if I wanted to, or I could continue on. We also have the Settle Timbuktu line of objectives over here. This is definitely something I want to do in the long run, but whether I have the resources to actually found multiple cities right now is a bit more of a complex question. Maybe, but aside from the province of Timbuktu gaining the pop capacity bonus down here, plus I actually would need to be able to import all these resources. I don't know if I can reach these resources, so it may just not really be feasible out here. I may just want to focus on these other objectives. So let's at least start with Kabata. With this in mind, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and raise the Gene levy and send it north to prepare for a war with Kabata. I should be able to fight these three without too much trouble, assuming that, let's see, 7, okay, well, 9, 7, okay, so unless they hire some mercs, which there are a number of mercs around they could hire, this should be doable. We should have the numbers advantage, even though I'm no longer worshipping the Great Serpent, and we've lost that morale bonus. I think... Augur, yeah, now we have a much better Augur, so that's helping a lot too. I think we should be okay. I'm gonna risk it. This is a little bit risky without the morale bonuses, but we are still, of course, running martial ethos to help out. Okay. Let's raise... Let's see, hold on. Let me check that. I think moving through the plains will be faster, so let's raise the horse force down in Gene and send them north up to Chiabu, because we'll use the fort at Houndu to control the territory of this area. And let's go ahead and continue. Also, we'll see if the game keeps running the Scheme Influence bonus as if I was doing Scheme Influence on my current character, which I can't, but we'll see if the game thinks I am. It'd be cool if it did, but I don't know exactly what to expect. Aims of oligarchs realized. Partisans of the oligarchs are practically falling over each other to congratulate Atakan Ad for defending their interests in the Assembly of Timbuktu. It seems the decisions of our government have ensured the approval of the interests of the elites for the time being. Power is for helping your friends. Okay. Again, as I said before, the main goal here was just to prevent them from forcing me to shift, or to assign the character before, or what am I trying to say? I wanted to prevent the oligarchs from forcing me to assign her to an office she wasn't as good for, so I assigned her to the office that she was the best for, given her only okay stats. Also, the Dems have raised in control. It seems a lot of my new assignments of Democrats has helped a bit. Also, hold on. Okay, yeah, that is... Okay, I see what's going on. Traditionalists are really struggling right now. I don't know exactly why. They don't have any family head supporters is the main problem, yeah. And if we didn't... So basically, the oligarchs are the most strong because they have 2 family head supporters. Democrats have 1 family head supporter. Where's the 4th family head supporting? Hold on. Oh, there's 3 that are oligarch supporters. That actually makes much more sense with the numbers. It just doesn't display it here. This most influential faction members list, by the way, is very unreliable. So you have to check. You have to check the sources on that. You have to check the citations on that. Okay. I could also, by the way, do one of these actions down here, but I don't know if I have the resources to do many of these. If I were to do one, it would probably be religious privileges. Well, this would affect my pop conversion speed, but it would also increase my happiness. This is the easiest one to do. 100 gold and 25 PI. Well, okay, 5 tyranny is easier to do than 100 gold, but I would probably prefer spending 100 gold over... Well, okay, what I should really say is the one that I'd want to do is religious privileges. It would also be fairly easy to do. Easy compared to this absurd 2.5k manpower. This would also get me traditionalist approval for 5 years with everybody, which could be quite nice. Either way, we'll worry about that later. As for the levy, they should be ready to go. They are now ready to go. Let's raise them in Tiabu and get them reorganizing and pick. Make sure they're in the right organization. Heavy cab on this side, that works. We'll have this force, of course, join in with the others. All right. I've also, by the way, rebalanced the game audio, as the first episode was... Oh yeah, there it goes. Scheme influence, it's gone. Alright, let's go ahead and shift him over to siphon funds. He'll gain enough to switch over again to sponsor games fairly quick. Plus in war, he'll gain popularity, so we'll just have him do this in the background until the time is right. Also going to keep checking to see if any new resources are up. They are not. That's too bad. 11th of February. Okay, you are following. And now, we declare. Alright, Kabata, time has come. We're going to be unifying Timbuktu once and for all. Take Timbuktu, they're joined by Bori and Taraka. As expected, here we go. Oligarchs approve, of course. That's the other reason why I think running a more balanced approach is better, because the oligarchs are very easy to placate. These are just bloodthirsty people, and they're going to like whenever we declare war. So I think that aiming at keeping our sort of passive trends to support the other parties, while the oligarchs are boosted up by war declarations, is probably the way to think about it. Dems are definitely increasing in strength. I would prefer the traditionalists increase with them, but can't have everything I want. Let's head straight to bad and get that under control, as it is the war target, then we'll move on to Kabata beyond it. 4K, walk into the plains. We should be fairly... let's go ahead and do that real quick. Whoops. Fortunately, they're not going to be attacking me right at the start here, so we should be able to get away with that slight mishap. No wonder my morale raised so quickly. Okay, and I will do increased pay. Since we're not using mercs, it's not that expensive to have the reduced integrated culture happiness. May as well play it safe. All right, capture the target on to Kabata. Save up my PI. We are paying for our forts. Yep. All right, good. All of our capitals are fortified, so we are completely fine just to let these guys roam around. They'd be better off actually unifying with their allies, so I'm glad they're not thinking of doing that. Alright, Kabata is under siege, only at 300. Let's give it a tick to see if we can get a breach. Plus, I have 3 sieges to get through, so I don't really want to assault. Okay, I didn't mean to actually close that. That was a instant close situation. They captured this territory, that's fine. We'll see what they do. Rate speed 3, looks like we are. I should have used the mod that makes this these colors easier to see for the partially colorblind like myself. Not too late now. I could probably add it in, but I'll see if I remember to do that actually. I might do that. I'll let you know if I do that. Alright, so far so good. Alright, our next academy is built. Very good. What are we at now? 20% noble ratio. Very nice. Could do some... I could do with some promotion to get more nobles, but it's moving along as fast as it would like to. Once the academies are done, we can then get our final court of law, or our next building, which is a court of law built. I think I will actually go ahead and queue that up. Oligarchs are in power, so I may as well take advantage of their build cost reduction. Also, I just realized one nice thing about increased wages is the monthly corruption reduction should actually help. If I'm going to be cycling my government every 5 years, which is likely what I'm going to do, this will actually give characters that are no longer in office the minus 0.10 corruption still, even though they're no longer officers, without the free hands, because free hands requires them to be in office, still increasing their corruption. So everyone will always return back to 0 corruption, assuming they don't have too much built up, in the times that they're not in their office cycle, as it were. Supply shortage. Right, we're getting some pretty good rolls so far. Could be worse, but could also be better. So I guess we'll see if things improve. Not seeing too many enemy forces as well. The thing I'm the most concerned about is them hiring mercs, and the AI on very hard should definitely be able to hire mercs. There's some big, powerful doom stacks lingering around in my lands right now, so definitely a little concerned. But water shortage is a good roll. I will take it. Given our middling marshal, I think just some quiet, slow siege wars with little combat is probably A-okay in my opinion. No need to rush things. We're not fighting against the clock here. About 7%? Nope. Supply shortage. I'll take it. This lets our tyranny decline nice and steadily. Though, I wouldn't mind selling off the 3 sets of nobles, so that would be quite a bit of tyranny, so... that's the thing, right? Tyranny is so easy to gain, it's so hard to lose. I have to just live with my decisions, I guess. It's tough. Water shortage, I'll take it. That's a good roll. Let's see a breach. Or, even better, let's see an occupation. 35% progression. Surely, we can get an occupation at this stage. That would be pretty cool if that could happen. What's my popularity now? 29. What's this? The Cav are out of food. What's my main army looking at? Yeah, they're a little... We're going to probably need to step back into our farmland to recoup our food. Actually, we can just stay here in Kabata to get our food back, because it's occupied once we take it. So, oh, look at that. Sacking of Kabata. Bunu has led his men to glorious victory during the siege of Kabata. The enemy flee in disgrace, and all that is left is to decide on how to treat the residents within. Needless to say, these spoils of war are likely to cause us back in Timbuktu to admire Ada greatly. By leaving such wealth in the hands of one man could cause problems in the future. Let the looting be gentle. He's going to gain the same amount of popularity anyways, and I don't want to damage land that is same culture group, same religion. Okay, perfect. Now, what is the next game plan? We're just at the start of the month, so I don't really want to stick around unless I really need to, but I am a little low on food. I don't want... I mean, okay, here's the thing, right? The bloodthirsty approach is to think about, if I start sieging Bori, will I lose enough from attrition that I then can't assault Teraka at the end? Because I'm going to lower my levy after these wars, and then the manpower losses aren't going to really matter in the long run. But the other concern is that they're going to drain my manpower as they're being damaged. So if I go grab them food, I'm preserving my manpower pool for much longer. That's the hard resource to maintain, not the actual men on the field. I think with this in mind, I'm going to go ahead and actually... Huh? I shouldn't be able to make this move. This is a fort. It's at full garrison too. I think the game is just wrong that I can make this move. I'm moving through their land. What is happening here exactly? These guys are at war with me. Their army's raised. They're definitely at war with me. This fort should be blocking me. I guess if this is allowed, I'll do it. This is faster to get back into my land. I guess we'll see what is happening here. This fort should definitely be blocking me, so I don't know what to make of this, but I guess we will proceed curiously. Our next academy is done. Very nice. Okay, interestingly, this fort is not blocking me. It should be. Maybe it's because I'm traveling into my own land. Is that possibly why? I'm traveling into my own land and into my own fort coverage. That might be the reason. I didn't think that overrode the fort preventing you from moving through it, but I guess I'm just not really sure what the reason for this is, but that's okay. Let's go back into my land and recover a little bit of food. There's plenty of food here to work with. Gonna get there after the tick, though. That's a shame. In fact, it's enough of a shame. I may... Oh... Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's not play with attrition here. That could be a big risk. Alright. Actually, reorging doesn't actually help here. Let's just stay here. Oh, you know, they actually did get a little bit of food. Let's get these guys maybe one tick, and then January we return to Bori and start sieging. Also, what do these guys want? No objective. These guys want me to have 1.18 tyranny or less. I mean, I'm working on it, Dems, but it's not happening soon. I need the traditionalist to get an objective for me to do an investment, because I want to save up PI to do an investment. I also want to save up PI to change some laws. I like abolish assemblies. I'm going to keep this because I like the war council. But I would also like to get provisioning act eventually. This will let me raise a legion, and likely the solution long term to the issue of having cycling Atacons leading my levy is to switch to legions, as real historical republics did. But this is going to require professional training, which requires fully committing 4 techs in the martial advances, which would be this here down here. Now these techs are not bad whatsoever. This also gives me a free province investment, so maybe I go for this once I have my first 4 techs, but that's a ways away. I'll be stuck with levies in the meantime. How are the parties looking, by the way? We're about a year in. Okay. The balance is slowly reappearing, but okay. It looks like Sagiri Suwari is the new expected Atacon. I 100% support this particular direction. Now, Democrats coming into power could present some problems if they demand me to change my term limits. I may have to tank their approval to avoid that happening. He would be... Oh my god, look at this duo. Sagiri and his traditionalist friend Kaba. The Suwari duo. Look at these stats. Oh my god. 8, 9, 11, 3. 9, 4, 10, 8. Holy moly. Some meritocratic masters over here. Whew. Jeez, okay, well, I would like this to happen. This is a lot better than whatever the hell was happening previously. All right, whatever I can do to help that come into fruition, I will be doing that. All right, we are looking fairly well fed. Back to body we go. Well, we could do a little bit more. Let's actually, you know, I think we can 2K though to siege. Let's give it 1 more month, just to be on the safe side. '51 stability, very good. Huh? Wait, I was looking at the wrong tooltip before. It's not actually January 1st. That was just the duration date. Okay, so October of this year, I now have a thing to save my PI for. I was just thinking, I didn't do divine sacrifices at the start of the previous episode. Something was off about that timing. Okay. October 1st, which I think might actually not happen on October 1st because the way the cooldowns work. We'll see. We shall see. Alright. These guys are now well fed, ready for war. Off to bloody you go. Also, my guy here should now have the popularity to sponsor games. Oh, I can just switch over to Scheme Influence right away. He has enough popularity. Probably could have done this a little sooner, but let's do it now. Scheme Influence, here we go. 1.91. With all my scorned families, this is the best I can hope for, so I will take it. We have our Courts of Law being built now, very nice. Fortress under siege, alright. They have 530% defensiveness, so the wait begins. In the meantime, I need to think of a way to get some claims down here. I could fabricate, but not until after I get my next stability boost going. Supply shortage, very nice. Tyranny is lowering slowly but steadily. Very good. Support's looking good. Alright. Okay. I really would want these guys to come into power. Impatience is a virtue. Salma Tielabelli has become increasingly restless of late. This is my previous Atacon. He believes that his stature is deserving of a key role in our government. He has approached our assembly, insisting that we bestow such a role upon him. Indeed, given his prominence, perhaps we should consider this carefully. Okay, he is a family head, and he's a little close to the excuse me, to the disloyalty threshold. So I think I should probably give him a position, but this means I need to actually do some Chielabili juggling. Let's see here. Yeah. I could replace Wati with him. I think this would probably be okay. Salma should have some... Yeah, he has a fair bit of statesmanship because he was just the Archon. But loyalty-wise, this could be a problem. Do I have a research position I could put him into? I could replace... I could have him as the Zeal researcher. Let's see, where is he in the list? He's probably pretty bad. Oh my god, where is he? Oh no! Oh, he's really bad at Zeal. Oh boy. I could replace Jaruru with somebody else, and then that frees up a Tielabili slot to avoid them being grateful. That's probably the way to do this, honestly. Let's replace Jaruru with just anybody who's not a Tielabili and who isn't terrible. Okay, that is exactly 0 people. Alright, putting Dottie Kadagwe into position, which means I can then replace Wati with, where is he? Salma Tielabili. That being said, the loyalty will be a problem. This is going to hurt my PI gain. I can give him free hands. Oh, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Get free hands. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's not that bad, but painful to see a family head in the actual officer slots here. Don't love to see it, but I'm straining with all my might to keep Democrats still trending up as best I can here. Okay, traditionalists are actually like still furious. They're at 0. I guess it's just not displaying around. Like I think it displays only in whole numbers, so it's just not increasing enough to display more. But they don't like that I'm at war. Yeah. Sorry, trads. Can't do too much about that. I need that dip range. I also want to switch my diplomatic stance. By the way, I haven't forgotten about this, to mercantile. At the moment, this is giving me absolutely no benefit whatsoever, but mercantile is not going to be available for a while. What's this? Wati is mad. Oh, this was a party leader. Yeah, that's right. Oh my god. Oh, he's mad about revoked free hands. Yeah, I guess that would happen. Rival of ruler. Alright, you know what? I don't need to care yet. We don't have power-based problems, so he'll just have to deal with it. Alright. Starting to have some problems here with the food situation, but can't do too much about that. Just need to let the siege continue for now. If we get a breach, I can assault this. In fact, I can probably just assault this and then assault Tobacco right after once I'm at full morale. I should be able to get away with this, but I'm a bit nervous about the numbers here. If I miscalculate this, I may have to hire mercs, and then well, if I have to do that, then I have to start deconstructing buildings, and that's a huge mess, so I think we may have to ride out the status quo is not good. I could keep my cav here starving to death and let my army go back and recover some food. Maybe necessary. This is risky, but I think I need to do this. Alright, I'm sending the army back and keeping the cav skeleton crew to keep this place under siege. Not progressing, but at least under siege. Go back and recover as much food as you can. We'll leave these starving horsemen to keep the siege going. Come on, people of Bori, don't even think about leaving. Don't you see all those, those skeletal ponies outside your walls? You wouldn't think of going past them. Alright, get your food back nice and quick here. This is the main force I need to have at tip-top shape. Oh, did I get past? I think I did. Whoops. No, I didn't. Huh? No, it's October 1st. That's right, that's right, that's right. We are in the clear. No micro mistakes today, at least not in this instance. Probably more will come, and probably some have happened already that I missed. October 1st. Okay, let's remember carefully that that is the magic number. Number? Magic date. I guess it's a number as well if you think about it. I need some more coffee. Fitting stature. Sal Machiavelli settling into his new role well. Whilst he is of the belief that this was only befitting a man of his stature, he's decided to show his gratitude by offering a small donation to the state. Alright, Salma, my good friend, how small of a donation are we talking about? Damn. Bro pulled out the pocketbook for this one. Alright, 34.38 gold. That's not that small. Alright, Salma. You're alright in my book. Got some oligarch on oligarch friendship. Love to see that. How kind. Alright. Now I could actually hire mercs if needed, but I'd prefer not to. We're just going to let our poor Gen A horsemen die of starvation as we just feast across the river. Sorry, Salimata. Hope you enjoy eating grass with the horses. We're just across the river. Get the food. Alright, I mean, I guess storing food is like the opposite of eating food, so maybe my jokes don't really make a lot of sense. But that's assuming that they ever made sense at all, which they probably don't. But I do appreciate that the food capacity is actually like a mechanic I'm caring about. I feel like this is something that one of my mods is improving in some way, because I don't remember vanilla having food capacity be this tight. Maybe just because I'm in the fairly sparse plainlands out here that I'm having problems. Okay. Let's give it one more tick, I think. Oh, hold on. October 1st. That's the magic day. Oh, as I thought, it actually is not yet available. I have to wait perhaps until the end of October for this to go away. I thought this might be the case. So, November 1st, I will be doing that. And also moving back over to Bori with my army. Also cycle over the horses to go recover. Actually, I don't want them to drain my manpower for no reason, so I think it's probably okay. Back you go. And then, here, we can do Divine Sacrifice, 45 PI. We just about have enough, with a little bit to spare. There we go. Keep the stability coming. Very nice. Also, our tyranny is declining nicely. You guys will just have to deal. This could reduce the amount, it could reduce the speed with which their actual levy fully regenerates, but I'll just have to work around that. We're at our building capacity now, which means that the next thing to do is probably to grab religious endowments, which would also improve the... Oh, hold on, actually. This would actually... I think this would... Yeah, that's right. This would make develop Timbuktu harder if I wanted to do these objectives, which I may or may not want to do. State infrastructure in Timbuktu is really nice, but actually getting, like, weirdly, normally the import objective is not the hard one, but out here in the middle of nowhere, no one has any extra resources to sell me. In part because I'm notorious for my evil actions, but also because I'm just far away. We're not exactly in the lucrative Mediterranean trade network. We're stuck down here without a lot of people to work with, but we'll do what we can. Incidentally, anything for sale? No. Okay. Let's continue there. Save up for PI now. I'll also be dealing with a new Songhai governor, assuming that I conquer all this territory, which I probably will, to be honest. It's a lot of territory I'll need to colonize as well, but better to start working on it now. Plus, this is Bozo territory. Well, I'm making that up. This is not Bozo territory. This is Ingal Koyu territory. A little bit of Bozo territory, a little tiny bit. Mostly it's Ingal Koyu, though. But it is still same culture group, and of course, same religion, so easy to deal with in the long run. Incidentally, how are things looking over here? 0.37 reduction per month is a bit more of a problem. But how's the conversion going? I'm just getting there. Once these first three convert, that's going to make things a little easier, but I'll keep an eye on this to see if it becomes a bigger issue. If I could get a breach, I would be most appreciative if that could happen. We're starting to have some war exhaustion. Well, not problems with it, but it's declining fairly slowly now because we're gaining war exhaustion again. It is what it is. Can't do too much about that. now my main goal is to keep this particular succession happening, water shortage. Things look pretty good. Again, I wish I could see a larger list of all the different possible candidates, but at best I can just sort of see the top two, which appears to be how your main and co-Otacon are picked. So, yeah, I will hope that this sticks around. I think helping the Democrats keep their newfound control is going to keep this guy in a good position, because all the Democrats are going to be... Actually, what is this guy's support? Like, what... I want to know what's happening in these factions. Eight of the 24 Dems support this guy. How much infighting can the Democrats truly have? And also in my game. Circular firing squad, even in the classical age. What about this guy over here with the trads? 3 of 8. Well, that's a higher percentage, but truly, politics is bloodthirsty. The sacking of Bori. Bunu has led his men to glorious victory during the siege of Bori. The enemy flee in disgrace, and all that is left is to decide on how to treat the residents within. Needless to say, these spoils of war, like the Nakazos back in Timbuktu, would admire Ada greatly, but leaving such wealth in the hands of one man could cause problems in the future. Gently loot. This is a same culture group, same religion location, so I don't want to damage it too much. Plus we get a little bit of money either way. Okay, very good. What's our food situation? Pretty bad, but enough to make it to and then assault Tiraka without too much problem. So let's just make our way over. How's the forces looking? Pretty bad. But we don't have too far to go. Just a couple months of travel, and we should be getting there. Whew. Okay. I think I will go ahead and just fully conquer all 3 locations. Not going to be great on tyranny. I guess I could just release everybody, but then I wouldn't be making as much money. And why even bother conquering people if you're not going to benefit from their downfall financially? Right? I mean, come on, guys. It's just common sense. Alright, fortress under siege. Cav got there first, but the rest of the guys should get there now. Okay, I mean, we're going to win the assault, so it's not a matter of whether we win or not. Is there any reason I don't want to assault this? I can't really think of any reason. I could try to continue pushing westward and attack Chabadia. Do I have a claim on them? I don't. So never mind. I don't actually have a reason to attack them. Who else could I attack? I could attack these guys up here. I could just re-raise, in all honesty, for that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just get this thing assaulted and close things out. Alright, we're going to just hemorrhage men right now, but we will win. Peace imminent. Well, imminent in big air quotes. 725 days. Alright. We should be fine. Really? Excuse me? Oh no. I'm out of infantry. I didn't even think about that. Okay, well, guess we're going to be sieging this the slow way. Okay, that's a problem I didn't really expect. I guess I do have a fair amount of cav in my force because, yeah, it's not spawning the heavy infantry yet. It's just light infantry with heavy and light cav. Okay, well, we damaged it pretty severely, so that is good. We have enough time, for sure. We're not going to have problems with that, but we do have problems with this. And in our main army, things are getting back to a problem pretty soon here. Okay, well, let's see if maybe we get that sort of weird glitchy, like partially sieged victory tick after this first tick here. These guys aren't doing too much anyways, so I guess we just leave it as is. Plus, we're going to recover some manpower as we siege it, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. Alright, let's see what we get here. Supply shortage, okay. We are recovering our strength and our morale, so let's just give it a couple months to recover. Then we should be able to clear this out. But a bit messy. I should have been paying attention to my infantry numbers. That was a mistake, but I'll keep an eye on that from here. Alright. Not enough strength yet to do an assault, so we keep waiting. What I also need to do is expand into these desert routes and start conquering territories. I don't know exactly how this works in terms of, like, like taking territories out here. I may not be able to myself. I may have to wait for someone to come and colonize it or something. But these territories here, if I conquer them, this gets me sort of closer and closer to the lucrative Mediterranean market, where all of my commerce is going to really come from. So I need to find a way to get some of these trade connections going. But it's pretty far. We have a ways to go. It's going to be complicated as well, so we have a complex economy game ahead of us here. Could also try to move further eastward towards the Red Sea market area, but that's honestly even further than the Mediterranean. And the Mediterranean just has so many coastal nations who we can interact with. I think we're going to get our best money or our best worth for our money from the Mediterranean peoples. We will attend to that in the future. Supply shortage. What are we looking at now? Let's let our marshal continue recovering. Or, I mean, my morale continue recovering. A petitioner approaches. A mature individual by the name of Dari Kadagwe approached our Otacon in private this morning. This is one of my researchers. In a hushed voice, he spoke of a vision of the near future in which he was found by his loved ones having been murdered by a slavering maniac. With shaking hands, he offered all his worldly goods to the state in return for protection. Okay. I could gain a staggering 258 gold, which I would not turn down for a moment, or 3 stability, and 20 loyalty with him. Now, as a researcher, his loyalty is not that important. However, he has an interesting additional benefit for me because of my weird strategy around party min-maxing, which is that he is one of my minor characters, and so getting a loyalty boost with him, although 60 months is 5 years, which means I'd only benefit from his higher loyalty if I made him an officer for a portion of the next Icon cycle. So I don't know if this is actually as strong as it looks in terms of fitting into my plan. The 3 stability is certainly nice, but looking at the numbers here, this gold amount, plus we get loyalty with him, still, is honestly, I think, a better trade. Normally, I'd almost always prefer stability over money, but this is a really oversized amount of money. Just doing some quick math here, 0.17 per month. That's around, let's round it to 0.20, so that's 5 months for 1 stability, which means 15 months for this, roughly. As opposed to the gold amount, 3.33, let's see. That's, yeah, because 10 is 30 gold. So this is much, much more efficient is what I'm trying to say. Like, this amount of gold is much more of a good trade-off than this amount of stability. And I think I'd prefer gold right now. We are gaining stability fairly steadily. So, how awful, we shall take good care of him. I will take it. Also, we lost Nguma. That's fine. Alright. Almost there. Let's see. I could let it recover a little bit further. I'm worried about failing the assault again. We probably... Oh, they're recovering the horses first. Give me more infantry, please. Alright, I may just have to let... Oh! Alright, new problem discovered. We're out of men. Alright, we're going to play risk everything for victory. I'm going to send you guys back to Boram and Nali. Patch. Alright, that may have lost me a tick of progress. Come back to Boram and Ali and recover some of your strength. See, if I'd been paying attention to my infantry numbers, I wouldn't have this problem now, but here we are. I need the horses to not die of starvation for a little bit longer. I know we're pushing these poor horses to their limit, but it's got to be done. Alright, this is getting pretty absurd. I could have also... I had full strength before, so actually doing this before wouldn't have helped. Actually, can I do it in... I might be able to do it in occupied land. I think it's better in my lands. Let's go back to my land. Okay, they do... I can't reorganize in occupied land, I don't think. Let me check, actually. I never remember what's allowed in vanilla. Yeah, okay. Territory owner is what counts. I need to reorganize is the main thing. Also, I'm keeping an eye on these guys here. These guys will destroy my horses if I... Okay. Give it one more tick. Oh, can I even catch them in time? They are moving on horseback, so they're a lot faster. I could send my horses back to defend the horses in Tiraka while the infantry... In fact, I might even do that. Let's give this the tick for everybody. And then I'm sending the horse on a special mission. Do I send just the light cav who are faster, or both? I think both is probably okay. How fast are the light infantry by chance? Yeah, a lot slower. Alright. I'm sending you guys back to support the horses here. I can split off the light cav first, if needed, to get there before the Bori army arrives. Yeah, without mercs, you can see just how much longer and more technical warfare is in this campaign. It may be worth it to hire mercs, but at this point we're closing out this war. Okay, we are in trouble here. Let's split away these guys. Go. They probably stack wipe me before I get there. Hold on, wait. 24th. They get away. I think we're 1 day too late. That's brutal. Please. I can't remember. I think they get away if it's on the... Oh my gosh. They didn't get away. I thought they'd get away if it was the same day. Maybe I have it backwards. We are catching them. This should be a stack wipe on them. Oh my god, okay. You saved the day. Alright, get back up here. Resume the siege. Alright, we are draining our manpower. This is probably enough. Well, I guess we'll give it the tick. Then we'll go back and assault. Get this thing over with. Okay, there we go. Very nice. Now we can reunify this force together. Get the infantry back over. Yeah, this should be enough to do an assault now, thankfully. Get this thing over and done with. Oh my gosh. This poor guy spent his entire reign just uselessly trying to fight. Not the best showing from him or from me. Alright. Yeah. Sort of the assault. That should be it. Oh my god, it still wasn't it. Okay, well, I'm just staying here now. Oh no, I'm gonna run out of supplies again. Oh my god. Oh, jeez. This is just brutal. Alright, how do I handle this now? These guys are about to be, like, killed from attrition. My goodness. Alright, now what we do is, let me go ahead... What is this left as? This is exactly 2k. It's really not enough. It's gonna... Well, hold on. It's gonna run out of food immediately. This is just brutal. I really need legions just to have supply trains, because this amount of food capacity is just really not enough for multiple sieges in a row. Okay, let me go ahead and, let's see. I mean, I could just end the war and not take this territory, but I don't want to leave someone like that if I can help it. I would like to get this territory too, plus it's more nobles to sell. We're almost there, we just need to push a little bit further here. And I'm not hiring mercs, it's not happening, I made it this far. Okay, let me go ahead and first send back the horses, because at the end of the day, at this point I just need strength to, well, what I need is infantry strength to get the assault finally over and done with. So let me split away all the infantry, send them back once again. This is going to run out of men, though, and lock me in place, but it holds the siege there, which is ultimately what matters. this will have to do. Alright, Democrats are feeling pretty happy. Good. Well, now we've got a Koi coming in as the co-Otacon. As co-Otacon, this guy's pretty okay. He's going to provide the zeal, so I'm actually okay with this if he ends up being the co-Otacon. Then we have a Democrat and a Traditionalist, so I'm happy with that. So either that arrangement or whatever was happening previously, either are okay, I think. Food shortage? You're telling me. We're about to stop getting siege progression in just a moment here. Alright, get back over here. And yeah, there's too few men. We can hold this for a while. Get back over here and get to reorganizing. Alright. Oh, we're out of manpower too. Ugh. Alright. A bit of a problem. Okay, at this point, I'm nervous I'm gonna just run out of strength to finish the siege entirely, which is very sad. I didn't realize I was out of manpower. Okay, I come back here. What am I at then? Well, I'm gonna continue dying from starvation. I'll bring in 144, which will get me back above 2k briefly, but not for that long, and not long enough to manually finish the siege. This amount of strength won't win me the siege with this remaining garrison. It just is the reality of it. I could hire mercenaries and win the war basically immediately for a cost of 100 gold and maybe a couple months of maintenance, because I'll have to raise their morale. But then, do I use these mercenaries to then attack someone right after? I feel like I'd want to get the full value out of them. So who's the next target? Esakane? They would bring in Ghana and Nyata. Let's see. That's one cohort, two, possibly three, maybe two cohorts. The mercenary army by itself, maybe with one tiny bit of the Ghana levy remaining, should help, should make this more than feasible. Even the mercs by themselves would make it feasible. This would be Sonanike population, but it's right culture group, right religion. Well, partially right religion. We actually start to go into the Rugen area over here. I don't really want to continue conquering, though, and just the mercs for this one single siege feels like a giant waste of money. But I don't really know what other options I have here. This is just devastating. I really thought I could pull this off. Think about this for a minute. Population over here. 4. I'd want to hire... there's not going to be any mercs at all with less martial than 4 is the problem, too. They're going to, like, sack this and probably destroy it. This is just devastating. Okay, 2,400 or 2,044. That's probably honestly like maybe 2 months more of sieging, and then they're back to 2 few men. Okay. I'm getting this. This territory. Middling. Gotta happen. I've already destroyed my own manpower reserves to try to pull this off without mercs. At some point, you gotta know when to quit your attempts at min-maxing and just throw the towel in and go for the. Oh my God, this attrition rate is absurd. What exactly are we losing here? That's a lot of strength being lost. All right. Of course, the mercs have full food capacity. That's enough to finish the siege, which is what I care about. I'm just going to fire the mercs after this. I'm just going to use them for this one single assault, and that's that. Inefficient, but ultimately, there's not another way around this. I overestimated how much food I'd have available for this campaign, like this campaign out here into the east. So, my mistake. Just have to learn and move on. Alright, please don't destroy this settlement. It's going to be so complicated to recolonize this settlement in the corner of what will be my new territory here. I beg of you, sack it gently, please. Oh my god. He came real close, but he didn't fully destroy it, so that's good. Okay. Oh my god. Get out of here. Disband quick before my money hemorrhages any further. Okay, there we go. Now we can go ahead and win the war. Sue for peace. Alright, not exactly the glorious victory I was hoping for, but we got victory in the end, which is all that really, truly matters. 8 AE for this, and it's, again, mostly same culture group, same religion territory. Going to be part of our new Songhae holdings. Alright, so Borian Diafunu to Timbuktu, Kabaden Diafunu to Timbuktu, Kabaden Timbuktu to Timbuktu, and Tirakan Diafunu to Timbuktu. Okay. Regional power as well, of course. Alright, first of all, my Arakan Ara Bunu. We have increased in rank and are now a regional power country, which means we can guarantee, threaten war, and have alliances. We also get the following effects. Minus 5% build cost, minus 0.01 provincial loyalty, plus 8% integrated culture happiness, 1 default capital import route, plus 0.15 integration speed, plus 7.50% monthly wages for characters, plus 1 diplomatic relations, plus 5% monthly political influence, minus 5% war score cost, plus 50% dip range. Ooh, that is something I forgot I'd be getting from that, so that's pretty good. Minus 3% threshold for civil war, and plus 2 max mercenary armies. Alright, well, I'll take out my irritation on these nobles by imprisoning them all, and then recouping my losses in just a moment here. There it is. Timbuktu is now nice and wide, as it ought to be. Out you go, back to your homes. Why is my UI, like, down here? Okay, that's kind of strange. Glitchy UI. Okay, let's go ahead and let one day go by so things recalculate. There we go. Now, as for this new territory, the capital... So the province we've taken over is this province here, Diafunu. And there's a few places the capital could be. First of all, this fort here is unlikely to be the capital, so I'm just going to go ahead and destroy that. As for where the capital will be long-term, not the best terrain out here. Plains on the river is the best we can really hope for. Something that lines up with Hundu, probably. And Bori is a little close, I think. Gurma feels a bit better. It has good coverage with the impassable terrain and with the desert as well. Let's see, does this count as being on... It does count as being on the river. Okay. It also dies, as opposed to sheep. Yeah, okay. I could move the capital now, but it will probably move again when Temera is conquered. But, that being said, capitals moving around is an unavoidable fact of Imperator Rome, so it's probably okay to do it now. What are we looking at? Okay, well, with no governor, it's bad, but it's actually under control otherwise, because it's same culture group, or it's same culture group and same religion, it's just different culture, so I think I can probably make this work. Let's move the capital to Gadama. Alright, we look at capital. There it is. The Bori fort can go. And I could build a fort in Gadama, and I suppose I probably should. Alright, let's do that. There we go. As for the other tiles around, provincial legation here will help with assimilation. Not too many pops over here, but I'll keep it there for sure. What do we have around here? Anything else of note? What do we have here? Tribal settlement. Tribesman happiness isn't terrible for sure. I guess this is okay to keep, actually. I'm not going to destroy this right now. It'll give me some more happiness. That certainly doesn't hurt. This fort here probably is good to go. Good to go is not what I mean to say. It's good to, like, for me to make it go. Good to go isn't the opposite of the phrase good to go, but, like, it's good for it to go. I know how to speak the English language, allegedly. Alright, with that, anything else in this province I should know about? Like, interesting resource. We got camels out here. Interesting. No gold. No gold. Got some vegetables, though. Incidentally, where are the gold tiles around here? Alright, we got some gold down here at Mata. Okay. Noted that before. We got some gold at Kaga. Oh, I actually didn't even notice this. I will probably want to build a gold mine down here. In fact, I may want to do that now. In fact, I think I may actually do that now. I should have enough slaves to work with around here. Yeah, there's only 2 units here. Let me build the gold mine. And while I'm thinking about it, any other gold mine locations I can set up. See, there's the Mata mine down here, which I should build, and I will build. Actually, before I build this mine, let me quickly assign the governor, in case the governor has build reduction modifiers. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky. Who do I assign as the governor? I'm not going to have a lot of good characters to work with without dipping into the families. I think I need to pillage one of my officers and then replace them with a character who's not going to be probably as good, but is a minor character. I like having minor character governors, if possible, because their loyalty can be a bit more predictable, because they're not going to react to their family being scorned. Someone with good finesse is really the key here. Let's see. That's asking a lot in my campaigns. I never have any good finesse characters. Okay, what about you? You don't have good finesse. Why am I looking at you? Here we go. Okay. Patata Gombe does have 48 statesmanship. 5 martial is okay. But 8 finesse is really what matters here. Okay, because again, if all I really need is high martial for my army, I can just hire a mercenary company. Like, if that's all I care about for defensive purposes, for example. There's plenty of mercs to hire, so I'm not too worried about that. Until I have legions, at least. I'm going to use you as my governor, so I'm going to replace you now with someone who's not going to cause problems for my plans. I can actually go to 3 of 2 for the Tielebeles. I could put Wati into position. He would like that. I suppose that's fine. Will this give him free hands again? No, I could give him free hands. I don't really need to, though, if he's just an officer. Okay, now in the Songhay area, let's assign... Where is he? Here he is. Patata Gombe. As the governor, he'll increase citizen and freeman happiness. That's pretty good. And other... Oh, he's ailing as well. It's also generous. Actually, that's what that was. Uncaring. Okay, that's not going to be relevant. Okay. He's fine to assign. Bozo Badek. Yep. There he is. Alright. 79 loyalty as a governor. That's pretty good. Switch you immediately over to assimilation. Alright. And having done that, we can now build the mine down here. It doesn't really make a difference that I have a governor or not, but I want to get the governor thing set up anyways. We can also now grab making gains for 15 assimilations in Timbuktu. Let's first make sure this is being efficient by checking to see. Actually, yeah, there should be enough for this to be efficient. So let's go ahead and do this now. All right. Did this actually happen, or what happened up here? Not entirely sure. Maybe. Was it in the Timbuktu province or like the Timbuktu tile? I should have read that more closely. Oh well. I don't have the money to do a lot of slave movement. I guess I will have the money in a moment, but I'd rather not use it for that. Either way, Consolidate Timbuktu is next. So the province of Timbuktu gains 10 years of population output plus 10%. And this allows us to do Triumph in Ghana, which I could go ahead and do now. I may actually wait and do this after the election so my incoming Outcon has slightly better Marshal. Probably not the worst idea. 9 Marshal on Sagiri will let me hire the 8 Marshal Merc force without problem, so that sounds like a path towards conquest in sub-Saharan Africa. We also are bringing in Wagwe Bonwu now. Not actually as good of a co-Outcon, because he's not going to be bringing in very good Zeal. That's the one stat that Sagiri is bad at. But he does bring in technically better Zeal than my main guy. So as long as this guy is the main guy coming in, that's what I really care about. So I think I'm okay with that. So let's save Triumph in Ghana for now. Alright, can I reach more people yet? Not quite, although it may need a monthly tick to update, so we shall see. Okay. Alright, and then let's go ahead and do some of this. Imprisoned. You are free to go. You. Oh my goodness. Release you. I just lost all that tyranny. Coming straight back. You thought I wouldn't be tyrannical. Who do you think I am? A good person? Alright, so you. Release you. Already interacted with you. Sell you. What about you? Off you go. Okay. A lot of characters to work with here. Get out of here. Sell you. You can go. You can go for free. Get out of here. There we go. That should be everybody. Yep, we are good to go. Oh my gosh. Okay, back up to 200 gold. And with that in mind, no other gold tiles to work with right now. There is some more. There's plenty of. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of gold down here. Whew. All right, we got some directions to expand in to get our hands on this gold trade. Yeah, there's a lot of gold in West Africa. I guess that's historically accurate. Okay, having done that, I think we are looking good to unpause. Dems are getting pretty happy now compared to where they were. If I could get that last family scorned, they would be a lot happier, but it's not looking too feasible. It's really tricky to work around that. Though with the Dem coming in and a Traditionalist coming in as the sidekick, they're going to be a lot happier, so I may be able to get away with maybe not having as many scorned families, which is going to open up a lot of options for setting up a more min-maxed government, so I'm pretty happy with that. I will be getting citizen output from this and losing the build cost bonus, so definitely something for me to keep in mind. And the noble happiness, too. But I think that's okay. As long as the Democrats don't demand that I lower my term limits, that's what I really care about. Okay, I think we're good to go ahead and unpause now. I'm like, where's my nation? It's down here. Okay. Give it the tick and see how things are looking. Incompetent storage. Distraught officials from the province of Jene are reporting that a not insubstantial portion of the province's grain reserves have been allowed to fester and rot away due to the ineffably incompetent practices used to store them. The local people are in an uproar at their toil being wasted so frivolously and worried, but having to go hungry, all looking to us for justice in this scarcely unbelievable scandal. Alright, well, Jenny has declining loyalty, but it's still fairly manageable. I guess I could just pay gold, get some... Actually, this is going to be loyalty with the governor, which is certainly not unappreciated right now. Let's take a look and see how things are looking. No faction approval, scorn family. Yeah, this would clean that up a little bit. I could also just fire her, but I don't have a lot of great finesse characters to work with right now. Gain some popularity. Let me just see that the proper standards are followed. I think that's fine. This amount of gold is completely fine to lose. Right. 4.15. Rising from Obscurity. Timbuktian Fortune... Oh, we're going to have even more characters now. I didn't even think about that. Timbuktian fortunes are rising. Over time, our republic has achieved both greater wealth and power. Traditionally, we have relied on the ability, valor, and dignity of our ancient and honorable families, but with rising fortune, there's also ample opportunity for new men of quality to rise beyond their birthright. Contacts certainly help when aspiring to join the elites, and there are certainly some families that the parties in our Senate would like us to favor. If we support a candidate endorsed by the parties, it is just as certain that this will upset the current balance of power in the Senate. Among those who aspire to greatness, there is also Gane Isawagen, a man who has achieved great power without the support of the parties, and who would jump at the opportunity to prove himself. So this is the guy who... was this the guy I was looking at earlier? This may be a different guy. He's my current high priest. Now, as for who to support here... this is the guy previously, Arabi Isawagen. They have the same name, that's why I got them confused. The same last name, I mean. Now, what I really want is for Sigiri Suwari to be my next Otacon, and any action I take needs to ensure it doesn't throw off that balance. So, supporting the Democrats could be good because it makes them stronger, though it could be bad because it then adds more characters who they could support instead of Sigiri. So, let's see. I think this might give him a chance to get a bit of cred with the Trads, giving me 15 approval with them. This would make Arabi a family head, although that could make him, once again, the expected Otacon, which could be bad. But 15 approval with the Trads would clean that up a nice bit and give me a nice bit of extra support. This would allow me to further annoy the oligarchs as I try to balance the parties here. It's risky, because I'm worried about him gaining too much power. Getting a family head who's actually good would be a lot better, because then I could survive them becoming the Otacon. This guy coming in as a family head, of course... Arabonu is a family head, and the previous Otacon was also a family head, so we're likely to see the family heads just kind of cycle the position between them. So this is a great chance to pick someone who doesn't suck to be a possible recurring family head leader. The governor of Songhai becoming a family head could actually be quite good. 5 Marshal isn't amazing, but his other stats are really good. And he'd be a pretty solid character to rule. Especially later on, once I have other... Well, yeah, even with 5, he's not that bad. The Democrats like this, which is also fine. I'd prefer the Traditionalists, but I'm worried about this guy becoming too powerful. Arabi's just really terrible. But Patata Gombe is looking quite promising. Let me take a look at him a bit more closely. He is ailing, which isn't ideal. I'm not entirely sure why. It's not saying what the... He may just be kind of like a sickly man, but... In terms of his traits, not too bad. Let me go ahead and endorse him, I think. I've been pretty nice to the Democrats in this particular election cycle, and we're going to continue the trend by supporting their preferred guy, Pataragambe Bulsa. Alright, they are happy with that, and we'll see if it actually changes. Maybe it makes him the co-Otacon, which would actually be pretty good, although then I'd lose my good governor, so we'll see what happens from that. Alright, good stuff. I think we're good just to stay at peace now for the rest of this election cycle. No need to push things. Ooh, we can reach some more people. Or, I mean, we can sell things to more people. These guys are far enough away. Let's sell them some vegetables. Very nice. Okay, and let's see if we can min-max this even further. Anyone wants to trade with me? Nope. That's with 50% more dip range. I'm reaching as far as I can, and I'm not touching anybody. Okay, we're getting a little bit of promotion now. Let's see. Okay, good. That's pretty quick. What's my... Alright, we're at 76%. I could switch to... Which one is it? Social mobility. This would speed up my promotion quite a bit. Although the low finesse... Well... Low is even an overstatement. The no finesse of my current Otacon would keep this from being too good. But this would help me get those nobles and citizens in my capital sooner, which would then help with my research, which would then help with everything. Once I have more research. I mean, 57% is pretty good for 8 years in, but it could still get better. Getting to professional training and getting legions unlocked would open up a lot of opportunities for me to start to improve my military. Though, at the moment, my main concerns are actually more economic. I want to make sure that I'm able to grow my economy enough to even support a legion system, let alone all the other things I want to do. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and I could also do one of these things. Getting religious privileges here. So 100 gold, 25 PI, which I can afford right now. This would give me 6% state religion happiness for 5 years, which is pretty good. Would reduce the pop conversion speed, although at the moment this is not as painful. I only have a very small amount of pops that are not the right religion, and they're converting fairly quickly as is, so I don't think it's a huge downside. I guess I'll see. I guess it's a percent change, so it would be noticeable. But the benefits of this are everyone becomes a more traditionalist, and they gain some approval. Now, I've got plenty of Senate support to work with, so this is safe to do. I guess the question would be, do I want to actually give more traditionalist approval? Oh, hold on, wait, that's approval, not conviction. Okay, I misread that earlier. I thought that was monthly traditionalist conviction for everybody, so I was wrong about that earlier when I talked about that. This would just give me lots and lots and lots of approval with them, which at the moment doesn't do that much, because there's no family head supporting the faction. Which brings me back to what I talked about at the start of the episode. Is there a family head I could shift towards the trad so that they have a family head supporter? Is anyone, like, open to that direction? Let's see. Oh, this must be this is the father of Pathada Gombe. So Pathada Gombe didn't actually become the family head, but his father, who is a traditionalist, is a family head, or who was spawned, became a family head. Okay. I think on the tick this may actually update. I may have just accidentally discovered, like, I was just saying I need a family head who's a traditionalist supporter, but maybe I'm about to get that on the tick. On August 1st. Rising from, we have another family rising up? Okay. Timbuktuian fortunes are rising once again. Over time, our republic has achieved both greater wealth and power. Traditionally, we have relied on the ability, valor, and dignity of our ancient and honorable families, but with rising fortune, there is also ample opportunity for new men of quality to rise beyond their birthright. Contacts certainly help when aspiring to join the elites, and there are certainly some families that the parties in our Senate would like us to favor. If we support a candidate endorsed by the parties, it is just as certain that this will upset the current balance of power in the Senate. Among those who aspire to greatness, there's also, once again, Gane Isawagan. He's back, demanding to be raised once more. All right. I don't remember. I think this is a glitch with the mod, the More Families mod. I don't know if this actually adds another family or not, but I think it will get me a reaction from the party. So I could, once again, strengthen Arabi, which would, I think, probably first spawn him a father character to make that character the family head. Now, Arabi is not necessarily too young, so maybe I avoid him changing the succession situation. Let me see really quick. Ooh, okay, this old guy who was spawned as the family head of the governor is actually now the expected next outcome. So this did actually change things, making Sagiri number 2. This would be a traditionalist reign with a Democrat co-Otacon. That's actually not that bad. I get the Omen power modifier, and I would avoid the Democrats demanding I reduce my term limits. But the trads don't have a lot of power, so I may have some problems because of that. I was expecting the Democrats to take over instead of the traditionalists. This is okay, though, I think. I think I can work around this. With this in mind, I don't want this guy to be more important than this guy. I think I can avoid that. Let's head of family. I'd like to get more... Alright, let me roll the dice on this. 15 approval with the traditionalist feels pretty necessary. Yeah, okay. Welcome, Arabi Isawagan. Did I actually get another family? I guess I did, okay. The Isawagan family has arisen, and we actually, I guess, instead of him, have his father character, who's pretty bad. And on the tick, we'll see what power base. In fact, let me give Lebeado a office. I mean, he's going to likely die of old age soon, but in case he doesn't and becomes my new Otacon after appearing out of nowhere, let me give him a bit more power base by giving him an office. Oh, you know, in fact, hold on. Oh, it's been lowered to 1. Oh, that's brutal. I'm never going to have happy Democrats again. No. Okay, at least grateful. Oh, hold on, wait. Content? 3 of... I don't think this is updated yet. What's actually happening with the approval right now? Grateful families, scorn families. Okay. It's changing on me. All right, this is getting more and more complicated. All right, let me rebalance this. We have to rebalance this actually on the yearly tick, so I react to my new arrangement here. I may have to just roll with it for a few months. Well, a year and a few months here. Okay, I do still want to assign that guy to an office. Go back to this. Let me give him physician, I think. So he has some power. He wouldn't be that great at it, but what I really care about is the power base. But then his family would be grateful. I mean, they're going to be grateful either way, I think. Grateful family, yeah. All right. We should have more power base now. Let's see how things are looking on the tick. This is getting complicated. Hopefully that's all the extra families I'm going to be dealing with now. It's a lot of families. Oof. I may, at best, be able just to keep all the families at content, but it's going to be like impossible to avoid grateful families with 6 families in play. This is a little over the top. Yeah, we got the Bois, the Sankara, the Sawari, the Chialabele, the Bulsa, and the Isawaghen, all active at the same time. Okay, so it seems as though 3 of 1 doesn't count as grateful, even though it's more than double 1. I can't tell if this is actually... Maybe this is like the old modifier hasn't been updated yet. 4 of 1 definitely counts as grateful, which I think is sensible. Let's see. We have... Okay, it says we have a lot of scorn families, but that's not true, is it? Because they're at 1 of 1, they're not scorned. I don't think these have updated. I think once I change the family positions, then it will update. So I think I can ride this out through the end of this term and then redo everything with the next episode, with the new rulers. Okay, so Lebedo and Niawari are now coming in. So a double traditionalist. Okay, these guys are both really old and may die before the election, but assuming that they die, the previous expected new candidates should replace them, so I think this is okay. And if they die while they're out of con, I don't know exactly what would happen. This has interrupted my plans quite a bit. I wasn't really thinking about how the new family heads would supplant the previous candidates, but that's vanilla Rome for you, vanilla Imperator Rome for you. Family heads have such unbelievable power base, it just throws everything off. All right, with this in mind, doing religious privileges may be a good idea to get some extra approval with them. Yeah, because these are both traditionalist family heads, so traditionalists are about to get a big power boost. Let me do this now, actually. The traditionalists seek to protect the ancient customs of our forefathers and ensure the vitality of our Bedaic religious institutions hold on. Let me start over. The traditionalists seek to protect the ancient customs of our forefathers, and ensuring the vitality of our Bedaic religious institutions is a simple way to defend their interests and nurture their supporters. Any reason to do... No, I don't think so. Let's do it. Okay, they are now happier, and I proceed. This is complex, but I think I am managing it pretty well so far. These guys are thrilled. They have never been happier. Why are they so happy? Just lots of good modifiers, I guess. Okay, I'll take it. Actually, with this in mind, how are things looking outside of my capital? Still pretty good, honestly. I may be able to do something they're not going to like. Let's see. Can I trade happiness for something else? No, I can just gain happiness for losing output. I'd rather trade happiness for output, to be completely honest. But that is not in the cards for now. That's fine. Let's see how things look on the monthly tick after things are recalculated. Okay. Trads are still not necessarily super strong. I don't know if I agree with this this assessment, but the oligarchs are definitely losing their power. Slowly, watch the grapes start to wither away from these UI elements here. All right, we have the old man duo coming in, seemingly no matter what we do. Perfect health on Niaware. Let's check his colleague here. Perfect health. Okay. Well, let's assume these guys are coming in. We're looking at submissive and corrupt on Labedeado, and then his co-Otacon would be abrasive and zealous. Kind of opposite positions or opposite characters for the two of them. I suppose that's fine. Pretty good Senate support. Even though we've seen the oligarchs lose a lot of their control, our efforts to improve the approval of the other parties has been paying off. We're staying in the 75 range, which gives us plenty of room to work with. Pretty happy with that, honestly. Alright. This one, I feel comfortable enough staying at low fort maintenance. By the way, I know I've said last time I wouldn't go into low fort maintenance, but I can hire mercs if absolutely necessary, and no one who borders me directly is strong enough to really likely think attacking me is a good idea, even though this is very hard AI. Okay. Once we get these gold mines set up, I guess I can also do slave miner now. Can I bring in any vegetables? No, I cannot. Shoot. I could actually get a vegetable surplus somewhere else and then send myself vegetables. In fact, I might be trading vegetables right now. Let me check my trade goods really quick. I am. Look at that. Cancel that trade. I now have double vegetables for slave cost reduction. Look at that. Min-maxing saves me some money. Make sure I didn't forget to sell anybody. Yeah, I didn't. Good. Okay, let's start setting up our gold mines here. Now, let's set up the Kaga gold mine first. Alright. What are we going to need for this? So 17, but minus 5, so that's 12. We're currently at 2 tribesmen. Alright, well, let's just get to it. Okay, 1... Huh? Wait, where's my discount? Maybe on the tick? Okay, let me wait for the tick to see if the discount applies. I have double vegetables now. I should have the slave move cost reduction. Was I moving a tribesman? That can't be right. That was a slave. Oh, now it applies. Okay, it was just the tick. Okay, let's keep at it. Alright, we're at 9. Let's move 2 in to here from nearby. Not from Kaga. Guma. Right, that's 12, and now I'm going to disallow slave promotion. They're not going to like that, but their output does not change, so as long as we don't have a rebellion here, that's okay. Alright, down here in Mata, let's see if we have enough slaves to work with. We got 0 here. Wait, not Mata. Yeah, Mata. It was actually a city before, I think, so that's why it has tons of population here, oddly enough. It's gonna be the... Oh, hold on, 15. As opposed to 17. Interesting. Which means I should need 10 slaves, which I should be able to get. Alright. There we go. And we will disallow slave promotion. Need these guys to leave as well, if you don't mind. Okay, that should be good. Now we can go ahead. And once again, I guess we can just let time progress, then they'll try to buy my vegetables. Maybe after a tick or two. There we go. Alright, we'll trade with Sokoto, that's fine. Very good. January 1st, 159. Things are looking pretty good. Still no trade for me. %. All right, we have the boomer the boomer election coming soon. All right, that's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this as is. See, it seems a bit glitchy, but I'll let the Democrats think that there's more scorn than there truly is, at least for now. Having a big focus on appeasing the Democrats is going to help because of all my tyranny I'm going to build up. They're not going to like that, so I think it's good. Oh, hold on. Sugiri is back as the co-Otacon option. That's okay, actually. He is a little worse than Labedebo, or Labedeado. Did the other guy die of old age, or no, he just is no longer the best candidate? 13.13 power base. Actually, what I need to look at is influence. So it's 10.2. What about you? 23.2. Okay, well that's why. He's silver-tongued. All right, that's no wonder he's coming into power here. 2.30 PI, by the way. Pretty good stuff. Ruler corruption. I don't know about that. All right, pretty good. Incidentally, we are now at number 17 in the world. Pretty good. Rome is number 1. No huge surprise there. They are expanding slowly and steadily. They have not built the Campus Martius, or whatever you call it, the Temple of Jupiter Optimus wonder. Interesting. Carthage is losing against the city-states. That's embarrassing. What else is going on? Nothing too crazy, it looks like. Sparta is expanding in the Peloponnese. Okay. Oh my god, wait a minute. I just noticed. Macedon is dead. Lycnidos has taken over Macedon. That's a bit of a surprise. I don't know how that happened. Wow, okay. Huh. Strange things in this timeline. It's only been 9 years Macedon's already lost. Brutal. No Hellenistic age in this timeline, I guess. That's fine. Save up our PI. Let's actually save up all of our resources for the election here. Alright, hopefully no more surprise changes at the last moment. This means we're back to a trad and a dem teaming up. Cursed team up, but it will happen here. Should help these parties get happier as well. Stability's looking good. What's our next cooldown for this? November 1st of 61. Okay. Now we'll wait for this to give my incoming guy more martial. Alright, pretty successful episode. A bit more slow-paced and strained than the previous one, just because we had much less martial to work with and no mercenary army, but managed to get some territory and focus on reinvesting into our own republic pretty successfully. Plus, we managed to navigate some very complex internal politics, despite needing to purposely scorn many families. We're restoring a bit of balance between the parties, which is great. And ultimately, I think having the oligarchs be a bit more balanced with the other two will prevent too many fail oligarchs from... Hold on. Labeado Bulsa has suggested a small addendum to an often referenced law pertaining to the rights of the common folk. It should only be a small effort to push this through the assembly. Yes, please. All right, 6 stability for 10 PI. I will take that. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, we've managed to set ourselves up for success here for the next little bit. Pretty happy with how this turned out. I think next time I'm going to continue expanding and continuing my mission. Quilima is going to be pretty tricky to deal with because I have to work my way through uncolonized land and colonize it to get this border over here. But this will hopefully help me make my way towards some of these caravan routes. Not entirely sure exactly how that's going to work with uninhabitable terrain. I guess I can get a claim on them from distance if it's uninhabitable. Not entirely sure actually how that works. Let's see. We're gonna have a claim on them. Can I reach these guys for claims? No. Maybe adjacency counts through uninhabitable terrain. I guess we'll find out one way or another exactly how this works. Okay. Election soon. Incoming guy. Oh, hold on. Patata Gombe is now the next Alacon, and there's not enough time for it to change again, very likely. Father-son duo. Okay. And again, it's traditionalists and Democrats teaming up, but now we have the we have the multi-generational Otacon election here. Okay, that's interesting. That's okay. I'm annoyed to lose him as a governor because he's really good with his good finesse, but he will be lending his finesse to his father, so that's all right, I suppose. And he does have good zeal, so this is actually probably a technically better duo, but bit of a shame to lose him as a governor. I guess we'll have to deal with that next time to see who we can replace him with. Okay. So concludes the Archonship of Ar and Reja. Pretty good stuff. They both look pretty worn out. They both have gray hair now, so... the Archonship, not even once. They leave things off with 1 month to go in a pretty good state. Alright, looks like things are set in stone. The father-son duo coming in to lead Timbuktu to a glorious future for the next 5 years. A martial future where we're going to expand and conquer as we go. Alright, here it is. Unpopular consul. Never one to challenge the status quo or even to do anything remotely considered interesting. Labadebo Bolsa has been elected Otacon by a slim majority of dull buffoons in wine-stained togas. It would be fair to say perhaps that Labadebo does not hold the confidence of the people in the same manner as the stoic rulers of old. Well, he is a stoic old ruler, but not perhaps what they were hoping for. Okay, I can gain 10% reduced integrated culture happiness for 2 years. That would be fine. I could spend a tiny bit of money, 37 gold, to gain 5 popularity. I'm probably going to do that, or I could gain cruel, 10 tyranny, and 20 PI. I don't think so. The people simply love circuses. Alright, Labadebo Bolsa was elected to office, now rules us. 9 martial, 5 finesse, 9 charisma, 5 zeal. Traditionalists are in control, which means 10% omen power, and they want investment. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. Stability drop. Not too bad. And we're at 70 support. Alright, let's take a quick look and see what I'll be dealing with next time. Okay, trads are definitely not in the best of shape, but they're pretty happy. Well, 31 out of 100 is not pretty happy, but they're happier than they've been, that's for sure. Open power 10%. Okay. And they want religious complexes in Kura. Interesting. Not exactly the priority I would have picked, but I suppose that's fine. And we need to reorganize our government, of course. And we can also do Triumph in Ghana. In fact, I may as well just do it now. Give this guy 10. Marshal, holy moly. All right. Timbuktu gains Triumph for 10 years, so that's going to be 170 when this concludes. Population output plus 10% and plus 12% citizen happiness. There it is. Okay. Now, of course, we've got 10, 9, 10, 8, but I'll talk about this more in the next episode. So that concludes this episode of the Timbuktu campaign. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.